Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are, here on the airship of the Lexendales from the Ivalice raid, because I forgot something. This is not part of the main part of the Ivalice questline, but the company bell has another quest. Remember the interlude we had where we returned to Lanasha. She also had another quest where she wanted some bread from us, but there was nothing special there. But in bad taste. The company bell has a wicked smile upon her lips, enough so to give you considerable pause before engaging the bacon-loving vixen. Ah, fresh off your latest adventure, I suppose you've yearned for another quest, and it just so happens I may have something that needs fetching. Do not dare use the F word around me. Cancels the quest. But of course, I live to serve. Do you recall the wine my darling husband had you procure for him? You know, the one with the rose bottle? Well, he positively loved it. So much so, in fact, that he's become obsessed with the vintage and would like to ask of you another favor. Go on now. He's standing right yonder. Serenia, Janelle has told me all of your adventures. The Orbonne Monestary, the Necro Hall of Mulland, such fantastic sounding locales. Just don't ask me how to spell them. Ah yes, the Sud Viantia. And what an amazing wine it was. I admit before leaving Garlemald I was worried the Outlands vintages would not agree with my palate, but oh how wrong I was. Not only was the rose one of the best I've had during my time here, it's one of the best I've had, well, ever. I simply had to have more, so, I went and purchased an entire crate of the stuff. And I gave him quite a deal, I might add. Which was not easy, seeing as there a great demand for bottles of Sud Vineyard throughout the three great continents. I shall reserve my judgment on the verity of Hancock's deal, but even with the price double, it would have been more than worth it. Fortunately, I recently sold an entire collection of my works to a little playhouse on Koganadori, the Mujikosa, I believe they call themselves. These Singan words leave my tongue in knots, and score myself a tidy profit. The price of a single bottle more than a house in mist, you say? More than a birdhouse, I suppose. Oh, you are serious? Well then, I can inform you that is most definitely not the case. Even during shortages, I've never had to ask more than, say, 20 or 30,000 gil a bottle? 40 if a buyer was wearing silks. You say Master Gegeruju provided you with this misinformation, did he? Why, the conniving devil! Well played, Luetchos Lalafalyu. I mean, that is terrible. What a terrible thing for him to do. Wait, was that Dalmascan wine we procured for Master Gegeruju some moon ago in exchange for one of his bottles of Sud Vineyard? Do I, want to know about this, Hancock? Probably not, but I shall enlighten you anyway. It sounds like you and Hancock make quite a conniving devil, Serenia. Still, I do feel somewhat responsible for this whole mess. As an apology, might I offer you a bottle of vintage Sud Vineyard? No, of course not. Well, what do you say to a bottle of Dalmascan? You could exchange it with a bottle you gave this Master Gegeruju and absolve yourself of all wrongdoings and whatnot. Ah, now you are probably wondering where one might find a bottle of genuine Dalmascan red, considering the hells we had to negotiate simply to find an empty bottle. Well, that, my distrustful friend, is where Hancock comes in. I do? Oh, yes, I do. And I just so happen to have a bottle of Dalmascan wine on my person this very moment. 3, in fact. And why do I carry bottles of the rarest wine and offer on my person, you ask? I am not at the liberty to say. If you must know, I acquired them from one of my acquaintances in Rabanastra. Alright. I purchased them from Lady Fran. Is this all what I think it is? Enough Dalmascan red to keep a bunker happy for a long time. Amongst the royal sommeliers there was a Viera like Lady Fran. When word came the Guardians were approaching, she ordered the entirety of the royal palace cellars delivered here, to make me safe from the Empire. Seeing as the situation with the palace is what it is, I don't believe anyone would mind Lentisters using the wine to, say, fill resistance coffers. So, what is your offer? If this many bottles were to make it to the market, the price would fall like a furble from an oak. I would be ruined. And here I thought they said they'll shoot one. Now, if it were I who to acquire this much wine, I reckon I'd only release a few bottles at a time to ensure, what would you call it? Maximum profit? Renock, there is no need to be rude to our guest. You told me before that the East Aldena Trading Company could not provide the Dalmascan Resistance with aid, as it would not be good for business. So, I offer you something that will. Do you accept? Not that it transpired anything like that, mind you. So, would you care to purchase a bottle? I jest. Now take a bottle and consider it my and consider it the last you get from me. Take two bottles? Or three? Enough, Serenia. Poor Hancock looks like he's lost his mistress to a morbol. 3 bottles is more than fair to see a wounded honor restored. Think of it this way, Serenia. If you hadn't saved the world from Ultima's Bane, the High Seraph would most likely have destroyed all the wine in the monastery simply out of spite. Meaning you're entitled to at least 3 of those. And if you so desire, you can take one of the bottles back to Costa del Sol and set things right. Though something tells me Master Gegeruju won't take kindly to you waltzing into his manor and demanding he exchange bottles for no apparent reason. Perhaps you might enlist the aid of that Windner from Wineport? What was his name again? Shamani Lomani. Then let's go to Wineport. Hey, Shamani. Wait, did you say you have in your possession a bottle of genuine Dalmascan red? Paragraph 12, wherever did you find it? Amazing. Simply amazing, and it's safe to assume you're here to right a past wrong? One involving a fancy bottle full of falsehood and fabrications? Well, I'm more than willing to help you sort out this sordid mess. If I'd said something back when I learned you would be trading a bottle of Valence for Mere Sudvignat, none of us would be in this position in the first place. I shall accompany you to Master Gegeruju's seaside manor and explain to the man that the bottle you gave him had not been stored properly and that we have come to exchange it with one that has. He is certain to believe the claim coming from me, his most trusted supplier. spoiled. Shamani, I'm shocked to hear that such a careless mistake was made on your watch. My deepest apologies, Master Gegeruju. I was not made aware of the error until recently, and have since been seeking to procure a replacement, the one I come bearing today. Would you partake in its aroma? I find you will recognize hints of cuckoo, cinnamon, and if you hold the goblet at just right angle, freshly cut rosemary. A veritable kaleidoscope of both opulence and refinement, if you do say so. Without question, this bottle is most certainly contain none other than Dalmascan violence. I shall be the judge of that. Florid banquet of wooden distinction, hunkered underneath a rhapsodial veil of undertones, and what you said. Yes, this is without doubt a vintage Learmonde. I accept your apology and will allow the exchange. You two, fetch me the bottle now. Again, my apologies, Master Gegeruju. I shall endeavor to prevent any similar oversight in the future. You have my word. Yes, but may I ask, what exactly are your plans for that bottle? This? Why dispose of it, of course. It's far too foul to even flavor a stew. And then you wouldn't mind if I kept it, would you? Kept it? But why? Why do you think? There's corn to be made. A little wax on about the top, and I can convince my fool colleagues back in Ulda that this is an authentic sealed bottle of Dalmascan red. And once the bidding ends, I'll have enough for another wing to my manor here. Master Gegeruju, knowingly presenting someone with a bottle of wine understood to be of inferior quality, that would be... I can never allow such a thing. Never! But what's one little bottle? I'll even cut you a cut of a profit. A small cut. I said never! And I said... Now, look what you've done. Ladies, hurry and collect those pieces. I have some animal glue in the bungalow and... a good day to you too. Also, that ends well, I suppose. The important thing is we exchange the bottles. Now, as to how this is all going to affect my future dealings with Master Gegeruju, you let me worry about that. What's this? A second bottle of Learmonde? For me? You know I cannot accept such a gift. There are literally thousands more where this came from. Well, if that's the case, I suppose I can. Thank you again for the wonderful gift. As a distributor of fine wines, rarely am I allowed the luxury of partaking in my own supply. I shall truly enjoy this exception. Perhaps I will even allow old Bioglend a glass. Half a glass. He is hoping will inspire his winery to even greater heights. Is that another bottle I see sticking its cork from your pack? Gods, those things truly are bottomless, aren't they? Well, as happy as I would be to take it off your hands, I believe there's another far more deserving than I. You'll find poor dressed where he always is. I just remember that was actually mentioned by Mont Blanc while we were in Orbonne Monestary, right? But there were cages of wine there shortly after the first boss. Why have you come back? There's nothing for you here. There's nothing for any of us. That bottle, where did you... The scent. Home. I'm sorry, I don't deserve this. It was my wife. My wife who always saved the corks. Do you think she'd forgive me? If I told her I wasn't coming back? With my brothers in arms? Would they allow me this respite? Maybe it's time I ask them. They'll all be here soon. Just like they are every night. But tonight, I've brought them something. Thank you, friend. Thank you. And back to Kogane. We're back, and my, far quicker than last time. Everything off with nary a hitch then, I presume. That is truly, truly wonderful to hear. And I'm not simply saying that because there's been this nagging in my gut that's followed me since I asked you to fetch me some wine that fateful day. Please, accept this as a token of my gratitude. I've been told you adventuring types collect them as well. Live to serve. And New Game Plus chapter has been added. Lady of a Fetch. Title. Alright, but that shall be that for this short episode. Until next time then, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Ace and don't get lost.